Hey, Rob is on 1-800-771-1025. Rob, welcome to Let's Get Real. What's up, buddy?
Hey, you guys. Want to let you guys know I definitely love y'all's show.
Thanks, Rob.
Vance, I do miss one thing about you on the other show is that you set me in tune with a lot of the news that they don't tell you about on the news. Like, for example, the drones. I don't even know what's going on with these drones. Is there any way, I know it's kind of a little off topic, but you can kind of fill me in a little bit?
Well, what are you looking for? What are you?
I'm trying to figure out what's the deal with them. Why are they there? What is the big purpose, and what's going to happen?
Okay,
well, probably happen. I know you don't have the full answer.
Well, so
I'm curious too. Let's hear what Spanish has to say.
All right, so think about it. Think about it this
you
way.
You guys are great.
Oh,
right,
thanks,
Rob.
man. I love you, Ryan. Think about it this way, Rob. If it's always going to boil down, in my opinion, to a distraction. I was saying last week because Mike asked me the same thing about the drones, and the way I see it is, if there's a news story like the drones that picks up this much press over social media, the regular news as we know it, on your AOLs, your Yahoos, everybody knows about the drones. Well, what is it that is happening either in Congress or in the Senate? What vote is happening that we're not aware of, that they're passing some law where they're taking away our rights to cryptocurrency money, or financially they're changing this? Or now if you have a different opinion from the government, you're considered a domestic terrorist. Things like that are usually taking place while, everybody's concerned about the drones. Meanwhile, the drones you end up finding out it's some operation by the Pentagon that they didn't want you to know about. So they said it was drone. You know what I mean? So,
all right. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a distraction, as so many things are in mainstream media. It is literally government control. Yes, the United States has government-controlled media. We're now on a domestic terrorist watch list.
Oh, for sure, 100%,
awesome.
Whatever.
But I still am like, what's really going? Why are people in New Jersey, of all states, and I know it's in a couple of other places and there's been spottings in California, but it's been hyper-focused, as it would seem, over New Jersey of all states.
Yeah.
What's going on? What would cause these things to be in the sky? And I've seen some pictures of things that, the government report or the White House. Do we have a president right now? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But they're like orbs.
Yeah. It's weird.
It's like, I've seen drones. I've played with drones. That doesn't look like a drone. That looks like something else. So could this be, and this is where my conspiracy theory mind starts to go, was it Project Blue Wave or something?
Oh, Project Blue Beam.
Yeah, where they're going to fake a UFO attack
Or the second coming of Christ. Yeah. Yeah. They can do that. They can definitely do that. There's also an interesting twist here that I'll fill you in on. Since the beginning of 2024, there have been repeated reports all around the country of electrical orbs floating around. There's some video floating around of them. Mm-hmm. It's going to be hard to find it now, but I remember at the beginning of 2024, you could find it. I think it was like out of Chile. There was one, I think, in one of the Dakotas. In Europe, they had a couple. You couldn't touch them. You couldn't get close to these orbs. You could try to, but then they would float away. It's literally a orb floating of pure electricity. Exactly what it sounds like. There was no explanation. Yeah, and then it just kind of went away. And then now there are these floating orbs, again, that we're experiencing. If you want I'll go deep on you.
Sure, why not?
So since we fired up the CERN again in 2020, I think that, collapsing of realities is happening. And I think especially right now, humans are becoming much more aware of their gifts and what they are truly capable of as a spirit having a human experience as opposed to the other way around.
Yes.
And I think when people start tapping into that power unknowingly, a lot of weird stuff starts happening, and it's not going to happen near them, because when you dive into the quantum mechanics behind all of it, we are all entangled with one another. But let's say if in New Jersey, I have family in New Jersey, right? And I consider myself fairly spiritual, and I believe that I'm capable of many things, whether it be so if I were to have an emotional experience here that connects me somehow to a cousin that I have in New Jersey, well, that means that anything that I'm experiencing, I'm now projecting, and they are going to experience in New Jersey as well. Whether that shows up as an orb or as, my cousin getting into a car accident, something like that, is going to be unbeknownst to me. But that is the science behind how quantum mechanics through emotional vibrations work.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And I wish I could put words to it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I wish I had the, like, I wish I was reading an article this morning about quantum entanglement and like the new AI Willow is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty, like, you kind of feel like we're on the precipice of something really huge. Now, whether or not that drones in Jersey are having anything to do with that, and whether or not CERN, because I mean, you are playing with the God particle there.
Yeah, dude.
So it's like, all right, well, we are on the verge of that. So back to your distraction theory, if you believe in deep state, that there's a controlling organism that kind of wants to keep us fighting with one another and all of that, if you would not want normal human beings to know their potential.
Oh my God, no, because they could literally change the entire landscape of reality.
When I was journaling also this week, yes, I journal. When I was journaling this week on this, I was actually, and I've thought about this a lot since my father passed a month ago, because I'm just in this place where wherever Dad is right now, wherever/whenever/whatever is happening with my father right now, like everything's possible in a place of unconditional love.
Yeah.
Everything's possible. And how I've now taken that thought process, however you want to label it, God, universe, Hindu, Shiva, however, that power that exists, it's like anything's possible. Anything is possible. Therefore, the only limitation is our own construct of the human mind. Our only limitation is the things that the self-limiting beliefs, or however you want to phrase it. But it's like, well, wait a minute. All these like earthbound problems that I feel like I'm going through right now are trivial.
Yeah.
They are microscopic. And if we in this earthbound meat skeleton world floating around on this rock in the middle of space to have to do with it, it's like you tap into that. You tap into that eternal power as a human bound force. Anything's possible. You can do literally anything. And when you look around the scope of the world of the human beings who have done some pretty incredible things, whether they be, highly visible and they've had big companies, or they've, the Gandhis of the world, or these, the Mother Teresa's, the peace people who throughout all possible struggle were still able to impact people's lives. When you tap into something, it's really kind of exciting to think what one lone human could do. And then back to your point about quantum entanglement, when you start to go, okay, well, now we're humans who are entangled in this energy spirit together. What could we as a collective do? Well, that then makes the quote unquote deep state feel very pedestrian.
Oh my
trivial.
God. Yeah. Because they already know, they already know all this. Yeah. So we're just catching up to the finish line, and it's interesting because the examples are there throughout history to show us what it all is. Like Shiva, for instance, is represented in both male and female form, right? So a lot of you just take that as face value. You would say, oh, well, he's the perfect combination. Like the color purple is the perfect combination of red and blue. You have to have the exact perfection of red and blue to make purple.
Yes.
So that is what Shiva is. He's the perfect combination of the male and female power. But that's represented, you can extrapolate that to almost anything where you say our physical world needs good and evil as we perceive it to have a balance to show us our true power. Because like we were talking about last week, you need that evil to propel you to a place of extreme unconditional love so you can lock in and harness what God or the universe has to offer. You wouldn't get there if you didn't have a rock bottom to where you now have to make the decision. And like we talked about with that experiment, your unphysical subconscious has already made the decision, but your physical reality is catching up to it. That is the literal perfect example of what everyone's reality is is our subconscious has made the choice, but now our physical reality has to catch up to whatever that choice is.
And that gap in there, that time, yes, I'm just going to go with yes.
Yeah, but that gap in time is the perfect opportunity for a hive mind that wants to control us. That's all they need is that a little bit amount of time, and if they just can step in, however distractingly they can, however in whatever way of a distraction they can step in that little amount of time. Correct, that cuts us off immediately from whatever we're trying to accomplish.
So the really cool, like as men and humans, as we move forward to decrease that gap of time, so that our physical body is in lockstep with our subconscious and that they act as one. Wow.
Correct. Be in the present moment.
Thank you, Rob, for opening up this can of worms by simply going, what's up with the drones? 1-800-771-1025 is our phone number.